Today I want to show you guys how to make your own wig. Yes, I made this wig out of 3 bundles and a 13x4 closure. And yeah, without further ado, let's get to it. Here's the closure I'm using, the bundles. I also bought a flat iron, a dome cap, and some bleach to make sure I bleach my knots because the frontal didn't already come pre-bleached. So I used B2 and 40 volume developer this time because I noticed when I use 30 volume developer, it takes a while to turn my knots bleached. So this is a little shortcut I used. Please try not to get it on your skin. And if you do get it on your skin, make sure you wash your hands. Now I'm just brushing the bleach on the frontal, and I'm not pressing too hard because we don't want it to seep through the other side. Also, we made sure the consistency was super thick. After you put on the bleach and set it for 15 minutes, you wash it off with purple shampoo. So now I'm just measuring from my forehead to my nape, and I'm measuring from ear to ear to make sure the wig cap that I have on my mannequin head is at the same length. This is how I ensure that your wig can actually fit your head. And so you'll see me just measuring the dome cap and just putting it to 13.5 inches because that was the same length as my actual head. After your frontal is all washed with purple shampoo and conditioner, you just sew it on your wig cap from ear to ear. As I'm sewing, I am winding it around the needle to create a knot. And I noticed that there was some puckering, so I just bundled the frontal together and just sewed straight through it. We're just going to keep on sewing all the way down. Try as hard as possible to make sure your sewing is flat because you will be able to see any lumps, bumps, and knots. Now that I've got it from ear to ear, I'm just going to clip off that excess string and pull out my longest 22-inch bundle. I'm going to line the first bundle up to where the frontal of the hair started and ended. So you can see I'm not putting it exactly on top of it. I'm putting it right behind it. And I'm just going to start sewing like I did the front part. Every single time I loop, I wrap the thread around the needle to create a knot. This way secures your wefts onto your wig and ensures that there is no sliding. Somebody like me, I love to wash my wigs and blow dry them and play around with them a lot, take them on and off. So it's super important that my bundles are not falling out of my wig. I'm going to continue sewing until I get to the other side and flip over the track. I'm not cutting it, I'm flipping over. You can see here the flip over method. I use T-pins to help me hold the track into place. That way I know exactly where it's supposed to go. It's not sliding down. Once the track is flipped over completely, I just start sewing like normal. I put the needle in and then you double wrap it to make sure it has a knot. You can see me doing it right there. And yeah, we're just going to keep sewing from ear to ear. Every single time you loop with that needle, you need to make sure you knot it so your wefts aren't slipping out of your wig. Now that I'm getting closer to the top, I like to put the tracks in a U shape. So now I'm using the 20-inch bundle, and instead of going ear to ear, you can see that there is a U shape at the end of the wefts. Yes, this is to make sure that the hair falls flat. And since you have a frontal, which is a separate piece from your bundles, sometimes there can be a gap in between the two. So this is a quick tip that I like to do to make sure all your tracks are covered up and your wig is laying flat. Now we've made it to the last 18-inch bundle. I tried my hardest to use all 3 bundles because I love really thick wigs. I like to order the 250 density wigs just so it can be super thick, it can be flowy. And so now that I'm at the top, I no longer go in U shapes since the U shape is already there and established. I'm just going to go across, back and forth, kind of in a U, but not as much. So yeah, just keep watching and see how I secure the top of this head. Yay, we did it. We finally sewed in all the tracks. It was not easy. At the very top, it can get super tricky, but try the best that you can. So now that I'm at the top, I'm just going to undo the frontal that I had braided and just comb all of that down. I'm trying to comb it towards the back because I'm about to work with the frontal. So comb all of that hair to the back. Now that everything is combed to the back, just flip over your frontal and cut off that excess spandex. The frontal will be your new covering, and since you sewed the frontal onto the spandex cap, it's connected with your bundles. And boom, that's how you do it. I went ahead and sewed in a band to keep it tight on my head, and I went ahead and sewed in one clip in the back to make sure it stays secured. So now that everything is cut off, I'm going to spray it with some freeze spray and send it to the back. Get you a hot comb to make this process easier, or some mousse or some freeze spray. Whatever you have accessible is what you need to use right here to keep all those hairs to the back. Because up next, we're going to pluck the frontal. Yes, pluck it. This frontal already came somewhat plucked, so I didn't really have to do too much work. What I like to do is have a strip of hair out in the front just in case you over pluck. Grab your tweezers and just go in and pluck those fine hairs away. If you ever mess up, that's okay, because if you put that hair that's laid out in the front, if you push it back, it'll cover up any bald spots. Eventually, I just started grabbing the hairs with my fingers and pulling it out because it's quicker, and I've been doing this for a while. But if you're a beginner, just use tweezers. Next, we're going to tint our lace. I'm using the concealer that's the same as my skin tone. This is the same concealer that I use in my everyday makeup routine, so I know for a fact that it matches my skin. The lace wasn't transparent, so you can still see it on my skin. So yeah, just make sure you tint your lace, and please use a color that matches your skin. So now that I installed the wig, I'm just gonna style it. I'm flat ironing it. If you guys want to see how to install a wig, now that's a whole separate video. I'm just here to show you how to make the darn thing. So yes, this is me being extra. I'm gonna go ahead and lay out my baby hairs. I don't want too much dramaticism going on. I just need a little bit, just on my ears and right in the front. So now I'm just going to freeze spray them, put my band back on. I'm going to cut them and make sure they are laid. I'm not to the point where I don't want to have baby hairs. I still love baby hairs. I'm so addicted to them. And so, yep, you're going to see me rocking them.